Hey, what's up, everyone? John here, Chief Motivator over at Method 3 Fitness, and I'm back with another digital learning experience. And this month, I've got the honor to interview Timur Crone. And this DLE is going to be all about improving the way you move, specifically your running. I know the weather is nice, and we're trying to get out and do some runs. So it's going to be fantastic. You're going to learn some great tips from Timur on how to improve your running and hopefully just break down some of the barriers. So Timur Crone is the owner and I'm going to say the CEO of Intentional Running and intentionalrunning.com. And intentional, just so the audience, just so you guys watching know, intentional is spelled with an S in there, right? So INTENSIONAL running.com. And I'm going to ask Timur about that soon. Timur is an expert running coach and a past sponsored marathoner. And what he does is help people break through to the next level of their running by improving their body, their mind, or both. So I'm super excited because I feel like philosophies align a little bit since Method 3 is all about improving the way you move, eat, and think. Timur, thank you so much for being here and allowing me to interview, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, John, for having me.
So first, can you tell me and everyone watching here a little more about the intention behind changing the S in intentional?
Yeah. So it's a wordplay because you have to look at what your intent is, that is how you're thinking about your running, and you need to be intentional about that. And you also need to watch out for how much tension you put into your running and even the tension patterns within your body and how that can create movement patterns that can result in either wonderful, awesome running or injury.
Or injury, right. Or not awesome running, right. Okay. Great. So Timur is here, guys, to pretty much break down and give you 3 actionable steps to improve your running. And I love it because there'll be some easier things that you can go and execute upon. That being said, I will say that having had a running coach in the past myself, it is unbelievable when someone can help break these down a little bit more specific for you. And Timur and I were kind of chatting about that. Like, I think people will really be able to take action on these things, but there are some more nuanced features and things that are included per the individual. So if you'd like, guys would like more help, we're going to make sure we put all of Timur's information in the show notes, and you guys will be able to either go to his website or contact him for more information on how to work with him if you'd like. So Timur, can we launch in? I think there are 3 main steps or strategies that you had to really help people improve their running. I'd like to start with the physical ones because I love keeping the third one for last. So can you go over step number 1 for everybody?
Sure. Step number 1 is run slower.
Run slower, which everyone's sitting here listening, I'm sure, going like, wait a second, he wants me to like run. So can you describe, can you, I love that too. I love that. So can you dive into exactly what you mean behind that?
Yeah, what you often see with inexperienced runners, and even some experienced ones, is they put a lot of pressure on themselves to run basically as fast as they can. And also they get really competitive with other people that might be running around them when they go for their runs. And they don't really understand that when you're training, there's different training paces that serve different purposes. And the majority of training is done at a really slow, easy pace where you can have a conversation exactly like John and I are having right here.
Okay. And what happens like when people are trying to run too fast or being too competitive with the people around them and kind of overstepping their abilities? What can transpire? What are the pitfalls of that?
The main pitfalls is the runs are harder and not as enjoyable, and it can be really discouraging at the end of the run to find yourself gassed and out of breath instead of having enjoyed a great run.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest one. Over time, it can eventually lead to injury because you're just pushing too hard all the time. And I mean, with any kind of physical training, if you're pushing too hard all the time, you're going to get hurt.
Yep, absolutely. And so, and I think that's great for everyone to hear, because I think when some people think running, they automatically think just workout. And if I'm going to do a workout, it needs to be hard. And it's one of the things we try to coach our clients on is, hey, we've got aspects of our workout that are difficult and challenging, absolutely. But there's rest intervals that are there for a reason, right? So you can actually perform better on the next set, right? Or so that you can reduce the risk of injury. And I think that's fantastic that you mentioned that. The other piece that I really like that you said is as you're running slower, you're also going to be able to go out there and enjoy the run, right? And that's a factor that I think a lot of people, not all, but a lot of people miss. Okay, so step one, run slower and be okay with it, right?
Yes.
Lovely. Okay. And then I think there was a second physical component, step two, or strategy number two, if you will.
Yeah. The next step would be run with more steps in the same minute-long period. And that means a faster cadence.
A faster cadence. So if I understand that correctly, that means instead of taking my long loping gazelle-like strides, I'm going to reduce kind of how my stride length. Is that kind of, and then
Yes.
try to increase that stride length, or the cadence or the pace of that as well. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Without speeding up.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Okay, I was like, without speeding up. So, for those of you watching, you're thinking, and I love. I'm sure people are gonna, like, when they're done with this, they're gonna go out and start trying all this, which is great. But a lot. So what that means, you guys know, is you're kind of bringing your stride length down, but you are upping your cadence. And cadence is like how many foot strikes you're gonna have, right, within that minute period of time that Timur is saying. And I love you gave it a timeline, so you guys can count. You can literally go count that. Is that what you would kind of instruct people to do a little bit?
Actually, the easiest way and the least annoying way is you get on to Google Play, Spotify, various other music players, and you'll find they have running playlists that you can set of beats per minute. And a good beats per minute that I recommend beginning runners try out is about 165.
Okay.
And so then you just start swinging your arms and swinging your legs to the beat of the music.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That is the most actionable item right there. Guys, this is fantastic. Run slower and go get your Spotify on and get that 165 BPMs and get in line with it, right, with your body. And that's so good. And what the additional part that Timur just said there, though, was, but don't run faster. Right. And that's that little key in there that I hope people heard, because it's going to be, they're just going to want to almost, but you can do it and still run at the speed that you should, which according to Timur is slower. Right.
Yep.
This is great. This is great. Okay. So we've got to run slower. We've got to control and really probably increase our cadence. But as we increase our cadence, don't run faster. And I love the ability to, instead of counting the steps, which I'll be honest, I think that's what I did, and that was horrible. I couldn't remember exactly what number I was on anyway, or you forget, you're like, oh, and I got to start all over. So that is a really easy, actionable tip right there, is just grab the BPMs and go with the music, and probably, and more enjoyable at that, right? You're listening to some good music at the same time.
Yep.
So there's two easy, actionable components, guys, physical components to improve your running, like right now. And as I stated, I'm sure there's some other nuanced factors. Maybe Timur can touch on those just in a minute here after we're done with these three. But I want to get to the last one, which I really enjoy and like. Can you share that third tip, Timur?
Yeah, the third, and I would say the most important one for even getting out there and enjoying your running, is pay attention to your self-talk.
And so can you describe what that means so the audience really understands, what to do with it, where it is now, and or where you have found that most runners, like, what their self-talk is like and where it needs to be?
Yeah, I would break it down to an even simpler thing, and that is, watch out for whenever you're saying, I have to go for a run, I should go for a run, I ought to go for a run, and try and notice that as a red flag. You don't want to have those haves, ought tos, or shoulds. You want to switch that to, I want to, I choose to, I'd like to, because, and then what is running doing for you? I'd like to go for a run because I want to feel good. I choose to go for a run because I want to get fit, and I appreciate a healthy lifestyle, and that's important to me. I want to go for a run because I want to model for my kids what a healthy lifestyle is so that they can see it in action.
Okay, so everyone needs to press pause, rewind about 30 seconds, and listen to that about 3 more times, because that was amazing. We're just getting meaty content in a short time frame tomorrow. This is fantastic. So the mindset piece of it is so big, guys. I mean, that's what we talk about at Method 3 all the time, is that when you start to change this, everything can start to improve, right? And this sometimes, like you said, is ultimately sometimes the most important one, right? And so many people, I think, still look at running as this chore, as this thing that they have to do, should do, ought to do, like you said, instead of flipping that perspective and really changing the language, right? And I love that you added because, right? And you had such great things, because I want to be more fit and I enjoy the benefits of living a healthy lifestyle, because I want to model for my children, right? Because, and those are kind of attaching that choice to go do running behind a strong why you're going to go out there and do that, which is awesome. It's one of the things we talk about, is like you have to have that driving motivator, something that's going to create some emotional attachment to it in a good way to propel you forward, right? So that is beautiful. So the 3 steps, guys: improving your self-talk. And even though we talked about that third, I'm almost going to put that one at the top, because just like Timur said, kind of maybe the most important one right there. Run a little slower and improve or increase that cadence. Remember, using the BPMs as a tool. So Timur, I know we can't dive into all of them. I think those steps are fantastic. People will be able to literally watch this and go really work on some of these things, right? And it's only a few action items, so they can start to really work on them, one by one. And without diving into all of them, because I'm sure there's a ton, just obviously from one fitness professional to another, what are some of these other nuances that you discussed that you'll get into sometimes with clients to really help them improve, their running, their enjoyment of running, things like that?
I would say on the physical side, using the beats per minute, you'll often find people land harder on one side versus the other. So if you're paying attention to your even arm swing as you're retraining it to the music, then you're going to be working your way out of injuries into better form in a variety of different ways, all at the same time.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And so are some of the other nuances have to do with like gait pattern or things like that? Are those some of the things you touch on with intentional running?
Definitely.
Awesome. Awesome. So there's more things down the rabbit hole, guys, if you want to explore more with Timur. I personally, I had a running coach, and it changed my world. And to speak to the self-talk, I used to literally refer to myself as a bad runner. I hate running. I'm a bad runner. It causes all these pains and aches and injuries and all that. And as I got some coaching, I was able to change, quite honestly, a lot of what Timur just said. I became a much better runner. And the thing that changed probably automatically, like right as I became a better runner, my mindset about running changed. And that made the enjoyment piece that much more, like catapulted it up. So I highly encourage you guys, if you want more information from Timur, on intentionalrunning.com. Remember, that's with an S in intentional. And Timur, you have a book coming out soon, I think in October as well?
I do. I have Intentional Running, Your Guide to Enjoyable and Sustainable Running, coming out in October, and it's a very easy, accessible guide to how to get your running form exactly where you want it, with some simple self-assessments and exercises to get you there.
I love it. I love it, man. And running is one of those things, guys. It's a primal movement pattern. It's what we're all meant to do as humans. We should be able to run to a degree within our own ability wherever we're at, right? Wherever we're starting. So I'm really excited for you guys to take a look at that book when it comes out in October. I'm sure I'll be in touch with Timur to make sure I get that information so we get it to all of our partners and post it all over our social media and blog. Until then, rewatch this a couple times, take action on those 3 tips and strategies. And if you want more information, like I said, you can get in hold of Timur at intentionalrunning.com, and we'll have some of the links for you below. Timur, thank you so much again for your time, man. I really appreciate all those expert tips and breaking it down in a simple way that people can actually take action now.
Thank you, John.
All right. Till next time, everybody.